Hi, I'm Allison. I'm the National Greenway Director with the East Coast Greenway Alliance. Thank you for joining us today for the Impact Series. And today we'll be talking about enhancements we've made both to the Greenway itself and to provide tools to enhance the user experience for the Greenway. And this is super important because the Greenway is a 3,000-mile vision, Maine to Florida, and it's not 100% built yet. So making enhancements to it to allow more people safe access to walking and biking is super important. And while the Greenway isn't complete, it's super important that we provide mapping and information to help everyone find their way to the most comfortable portions of the existing parts of the East Coast Greenway. Today we'll hear from Brent about high-stress segments and improvements we've made for mapping them. I will tell you more about our design guide update. We'll hear from Daniel about routes and about traveling along the Greenway. We'll hear from a few board members. And with that, I will turn it over to Brent to tell you more about high-stress segments.
Thank you, Allison, for the introduction. My name is Brent Buice, and I'm the Alliance's Georgia and South Carolina manager based in Savannah, Georgia. The East Coast Greenway features many impressive traffic-free greenways that foster safe exploration for all ages and abilities. We at the Alliance are working at the local, state, and federal levels to create more of these safe places for walking, biking, and rolling. However, we have a ways to go to finish the Greenway, and there are high-stress segments travelers will encounter on portions of the route that are currently on road. Of our 3,000-mile envisioned Greenway route from Maine to Key West, 35% has been completed as traffic-separated greenways and other protected facilities. Our vision is to see the remaining 65% connected by safe and welcoming trails that are accessible to all ages, abilities, and backgrounds. And thanks to our advocacy and collaboration with many outstanding local partners, much of this envisioned route is in various stages of development. While we work together to plan, design, and secure funding for new Greenway trails that connect to the existing ones, we recognize that there are already adventurers who are looking to explore all or some of the Greenway corridor, even in areas where it may only be in planning stage. In some of these places, often concentrated in the southeast, there may be only one route available for people who want to travel by non-motorized means, and that route is less than ideal. Indeed, some corridors like US Highway 17 in my region can be downright scary. To boost awareness of the stressful conditions that people can encounter on these temporarily on-road segments of the Greenway, we've created easy-to-use resources to help you plan a safe and enjoyable Greenway experience. Specific high-stress routes, including major highways and bridges, can be reviewed at greenway.org/trips/high-stress-segments. These roads have little or zero space dedicated for people walking and biking, and there can be high-speed traffic, heavy trucks, or both. We know these parts of the Greenway route are not appropriate for any but the most intrepid of touring cyclists, walkers, and runners. That's why we're working closely with state agencies, local governments, and advocates alike to close these dangerous gaps. If you want to help us address these high-stress areas sooner than later, become a member, donate, and reach out to our field staff who can point you to the most effective ways to add your voice to the call for more and safer greenways for all. You can find our contact information in the About section at greenway.org. Whether you're looking at planning a trip of your own or are interested in seeing how new Greenway segments are designated, stay tuned for National Greenway Director Allison Burson as she talks about updates to our design guide and our partnership with Green Info to improve our mapping tool.
So we're really excited to be providing an update to our design guide. Our design guide is a guide we've created to explain all the different contexts and help people with design for greenways, because we know that greenways in rural, suburban, and urban areas have very different considerations. We get questions about the ways to make the most comfortable, accessible greenways in all of those contexts. So In this update, some of the highlights are we've added a lot more images and examples to help understand the context for explaining. And the design guide goes into details about surface types, about width, about sharing the trail, about trail etiquette, about amenities, and many other topics. And all of these are trying to be responsive to the many questions we get from partners all year round so that we can provide more resources for designing trails and greenways and provide a comfortable experience for as many people as possible along the Greenway. On map.greenway.org, you can see that we've made some updates so that you can see high-stress segments on the roadway. We did this because we want to make it really clear as you're looking at the Greenway where are places that are trail, which you see in green. We show unpaved and paved trails. And then where are places that are still on road, connecting to trails that are only route or the most direct route by foot or bike by hundreds of miles, but still can be really dangerous to travel, where we're looking at no shoulder high speeds. And if you do need to travel there, we recommend that you use extreme caution, or that you consider focusing on spots where it's currently more trail built out, and that you save for trips of your choosing, you save some of the high stress caution areas for in the future once we've had a chance to work with those communities and states on even safer infrastructure for walking and biking. So that's one improvement I wanted to show. And then also on the trip planning front, to help you think about some shorter trips, we're really excited to be partnering with Adventure Cycling Association on their short routes, and we're hoping to add routes to their library early the end of this year or early in the new year. In the meantime, we've been piloting it, so I want to show you a preview of it, and then make sure to check Adventure Cycling's website and ours for more updates on it. From our website, you can go to trips and then go to suggested itineraries, where we have a lot of information about different overnight trips of different distances people have done, and information about planning these trips. And for the Cape Cod itinerary, if you go to view this itinerary, we've added and this is what Adventure Cycling and Ride with GPS have helped us to do. We've added a map. So you can click on this and it will give you click on this map, it will give you a lot more information about route navigation. It goes straight to a link where you can get turn-by-turn directions. In addition to the turn-by-turn directions, you can get point of interest. So it'll tell you about food along the way, tell you about parks and stops, and then again back to the safety being super important. Right within the navigation, we have custom cues that show where you want to be super careful. So for example, over the Bourne Bridge heading onto the Cape, crosswinds on the bridge make traveling on a really narrow sidewalk. It can be quite stressful, so you want to be super careful there, but this will pop up in your navigation. So again, we're really excited to be working with Adventure Cycling on this. Really appreciate their support in doing this, and hope to be adding more short trips along the Greenway to highlight places that would be comfortable, enjoyable spots for a day or multi-day overnight trip.
Hi, I'm Daniel Paschall. I'm the Mid-Atlantic Manager for the East Coast Greenway Alliance, covering Pennsylvania, Delaware, and Maryland. One way we engage with riders and trail users is we host events out on the Greenway, like Ride the State, longer distance rides to show off parts of the Greenway that are finished. Other shorter rides we want to make more accessible to folks. There's social rides that are happening in different cities throughout the Greenway. One is in Philadelphia called Wednesday Night Rides. Parts of that we can, join just on our own, or host rides to show different sections of trails that might have just been completed. So a ride really helps make the Greenway real to people. When we're talking about it, you can kind of picture it, but when you're actually out there, you physically and viscerally feel that and engage with it. You can see both the exciting parts of, what's already built and what's comfortable and safe from traffic. And then when you're trying to get to or from that Greenway, the parts that haven't been built, the gaps between the trails, you see the difference, the stressfulness of riding with traffic and not having that protection, not having a green space that is a little bit more peaceful. And then there's also ways to provide resources to riders digitally, hosting ride itineraries online. Partners of ours like Adventure Cycling and Ride with GPS are hosting more of these resources online. We're working with them to show off the East Coast Greenway to make it really user-friendly rides. You can either download the route or print out a cue sheet and go out and explore for yourself. So it's really important to work with the community as part of the Greenway work, whether that's planning the Greenway or activating the Greenway with programs and rides and events. This is critical because the Greenway really is what people make of it. If people don't see it as an asset to their own daily lives, daily routines, then it's not being used in its full potential. People aren't connecting with it. So we really want people to see it as something that can help with, whether it's something that they want to do for fitness, connecting with people, socializing, exploring different neighborhoods, seeing what there is around in a way that's safe and family friendly. All right, so let's take a look at Ride the State 2023 up in Connecticut.
It's been a great ride today. Pouring rain, but everybody's been really in the mood for it. And I think that the importance of having a protected trail is also key, that you're not in traffic, that it's purely for recreation or commuting, and that, it's an investment in infrastructure that does a lot of things for the local communities and for society as a whole.
One really cool thing about the Greenway is that it attracts all sorts of people traveling longer distances than, say, just in your town. People like to go a little bit further. They want to go multiple states, maybe one city to another. Some even bike or walk the entire Maine to Florida or Florida to Maine route. This is something that we only want people that are actively looking at the route and planning ahead, because there are parts that are less safe, and we have more information online about the high stress routes. But we really encourage people to get out and see parts of the Greenway that are nicer, that are finished. But it's really exciting because these stories generate media attention, and that brings more people into the Greenway community. It lets people know that these trails are out there, that they're connected together. Towns and elected officials maybe can stir up a friendly rivalry. They want to complete their sections of the Greenway and bring more visitors and more investment into their towns, into their open spaces. Folks like Matt and Grace walking the entire Greenway, the first unicyclist, Avery Suter, have people coming from all around the world. Mates v. States, the Australian runners who ran the Greenway, as well as Maureen and Nathan, a mother and her son, biking the Greenway. This is just incredible to see people really connecting with the mission of it, connecting from town to town and city to city, and really helping to show the world that it's not so crazy to bike longer distances or to walk longer distances. But again, we really want people to look at what's complete and explore the finished segments of the Greenway. 2023 has brought an incredible amount of media attention generated from the through travelers. We're really excited to see what 2024 brings. Please keep coming out to the Greenway. Let us know, tag us on social media, use the resources on the website. We have trip planning resources available. Reach out to the staff. We're here to celebrate the Greenway, and we want to make sure everyone's safe and enjoying using it. We really encourage towns and cities, elected officials, tourism bureaus to engage with riders and engage with us about attracting visitors. It generates economic opportunities for the downtowns of these areas. It also brings lots more investment, especially at a time when we have really ambitious goals around climate and equity, that this attention can really help generate momentum to do that. And right now, we're going to go over to East Coast Greenway Alliance board member Nicole Thompson to hear more about investment in downtowns.
Greenways for all. What does that really mean when you hear that title? Well, to me, it means the ability to come into downtowns and experience all that is offered, whether that is by foot, by bike, by scooter. Then also while you're there along the way, supporting the small businesses, Greenways really connect communities. They connect communities to each other. They provide a social way in order to interact with individuals. Greenways are extremely important for economic development. And many people may not believe that or may not understand how that works. You think greenways, you think health, you think exercise, you think recreation. But greenways are extremely important to the small businesses that are just adjacent to these walkways. Sure, it's a great way to exercise, it's a great way to move, it's a great way to meet people, it's a great way for your dogs to meet other dogs, but it's also an extremely important and vibrant and instrumental way for our downtowns to continue to grow.
Thanks, Nicole. It's great to hear about communities really realizing the importance of trails and greenways. And in North Carolina in particular, they've designated 2023 as the year of trails. And we're going to hear from North Carolina Manager Meeker about some of that work.
And so the East Coast Greenway, in a sense, like it transforms commuting from the mundane to the magical. And I get to hear the sound of birds instead of the sound of other cars and honking and engines. And I get to see leaves instead of concrete. And it changes your life in these small but important ways. And I want those opportunities to be available to as many people as possible. In North Carolina, we have two routes. We have our main spine route that takes you through the center of the state, including through the triangle region of Durham and Raleigh. And then we have our coastal route. The two routes meet in Wilmington and then continue south towards South Carolina. So our spine route is about 28% complete in North Carolina, and so that's a little over 100 miles of trail. And then our coastal route is about 9 or 10% complete, and there's a little over 40 miles of trail. So outside of the designated trail segments that we have, our trails are in all different stages of development, from gap, where we haven't really identified a place for the trail to be routed, all the way through design, engineering, construction. In the Triangle region where I'm based and where our organization has our headquarters, we currently have one of the longest stretches of nearly continuous greenway through metro area along the whole East Coast. And we've been working with communities in either direction in order to build out new sections of trail from the Virginia border down to the Cape Fear River in Harnett County. So there's a lot to look forward to right now in North Carolina and across the East Coast Greenway route. It really feels like in this moment we have this tremendous opportunity to really build some transformative trail through communities in North Carolina and across the East Coast. The North Carolina General Assembly designated 2023 officially as the year of the trail. And this was important to East Coast Greenway Alliance, and it was important to our trail coalition, the Great Trails State Coalition, because it really demonstrates the value of trails in our communities across the state, in all 100 counties of North Carolina, as well as builds support and new users for trail across the state. Something that I've really come to appreciate in doing this work is just how complex and challenging this work is. Something I like to say often is it's like this big 3D puzzle in which you're putting together continuous pieces of trail alignment through developed communities and having to figure out where those get routed. But at the same time, you're needing to time it according to other development decisions, as well as funding each new phase of a project and a whole host of other complexities that make these projects require a lot of capacity. It's really important from our perspective at the East Coast Greenway Alliance that this work is funded in order to support the capacity to do this complex and creative and challenging work.
The work of the East Coast Greenway, it's not going to be impactful unless we have the support of volunteers, donors, foundations, board members. For our board chair, Brandon Douglas, his passion for the Greenway comes from having safe places to access health and wellness on the Greenway.
Hi, I'm Brandon Douglas. I am the chair of the Board of Trustees for the East Coast Greenway Alliance. Health and wellness is important to me because I have two little girls and I want to be able to run and play with them when they get older. And I think it's important for anyone to be active because it leads to a better lifestyle. Whenever we go to a different city, especially for board meetings, I try to make sure I get out for a run, and so I get to see the city, see the East Coast Greenway, and see what progress is being made. I think access to the East Coast Greenway increases healthy lifestyles because it gives everyone a place to work out, run, walk, get fresh air. It's just a nice way to break up the monotony of staring at a screen. I think it's important to support the East Coast Greenway because this is a project that started with a small group of people who wanted to do a good thing for everyone. So I think there's always a reason to support a project that helps everyone and anyone find their health, their wellness, their time away. This is a project that takes a lot of love, sweat, and dollars, and we don't have it all. So it's a nonprofit, so we need the help of everyone. You can learn more about the East Coast Greenway at greenway.org.
I'm Debra West. I'm Development Manager at the East Coast Greenway Alliance, and we are so thankful to all of our members and donors. Your support is really vital to helping us advance the Greenway in all of our regions. I've been with the Greenway Alliance a long time and have seen our project grow and really gain momentum, and anyone who donates and supports us is really part of a huge effort that is transforming the East Coast. The easiest way to join or donate is check out this link below, greenway.org/donate, and your money will go toward developing the Greenway from Maine to Florida.
Thank you for tuning in today, and I want to give a huge thank you to our staff, to our volunteers, to our donors, to our board members, and to foundation supporters. We'd love to have you get more involved and continue to stay involved with our work. There's a number of ways you can do that, from sharing information about local projects along the Greenway and letting us know how we might be able to support and partner with you. We can help with everything from information about planning and design. Sometimes we can help with grant writing. We can help identify funding. We can help with community engagement. We can help navigate the public process. There are particular ways to get involved. If you want to get involved at the state level, we have state committees where we have the volunteers from each state share information with each other and with us about the status of the Greenway. We also have volunteers who help us with wayfinding because we love to have signage to help people find the Greenway. If you have other questions about that, get in touch with our field team members in your region. As we look ahead to 2024, we're excited about welcoming new members onto our team. We are in the process of hiring for a Northern New England manager and look forward to having them start early in the new year. And we're also incredibly thankful for a generous legacy gift that will allow us to add a full-time New York, New Jersey position to our team, and we'll be sharing more information and beginning that search process in the new year. I hope that as the year comes to an end and as you look ahead to next year, you find ways to get out the outside and enjoy the Greenway. And while you're out, let us know what you see, share your experiences. If you see things that are great, let us know. While we don't operate or manage or build any of the Greenway, we work to support the design, construction, and maintenance of all of it. So we really need to hear from you on the ground about what's working and what isn't working and what still needs improvement. We can only do this work with your help, and there are many ways to support the Greenway, from volunteering to making a donation to planned giving to buying merchandise to sharing information about what we're doing with friends and family. So thank you very much for all of your support and for engaging with our work.